Plentiful energy, consumer choice, and rising standard of living were bringing new perspectives to the industrialized world. In 1969, cameras on the Apollo 11 moon landing mission brought home images of our finite planet.
In the United States, we use these energy sources. We developed this technology. We developed our economy. And then we started to really develop an environmental consciousness as well. And we started to look at what are the environmental effects of this rapidly developing economy and technology system. And we started to say, hey, look, there are negative consequences. We don't want to give up our energy, but yet we need to do it in a cleaner way. And that was really a pivotal moment in our culture.
We had Earth Day, which was April 1970, and the US EPA was created. And with that creation, there became an entire rash of regulations, federal regulations, like the Clean Air Act of 1970, the Clean Water Act of 1972, the Resource Conservation Recovery Act of 1976.
Coal was essential for industrial furnaces and nearly half of the U.S. electricity generation. But those major stationary industrial chimneys were a big part of America's air pollution.
The initial concern, of course, was about acid rain. So the control of the sulfur dioxide emissions has been something that utilities have been addressing for now decades. The standards have been getting tighter and tighter, plus environmental regulations have been changing concerning the solid particulates. There's been a lot more research and development of the equipment that's necessary to add to a power plant for capturing that. Then you add something like mercury. Those challenges have been repeatedly met and often at less cost than was estimated at the outset.
With technical innovation, the black smoke from burning coal was replaced by the white of condensing steam from the furnace chimneys and water cooling towers. Surface mining had taken on a larger share of coal production as new coal fields were developed after World War II. They, too, were coming under new federal regulations.
Before the 1970s, some mining companies reclaimed the land, but most did not. There was no standard. The Surface Mining Control and Reclamation Act of 1977 set standards for mine drainage and cleanup.
Mine reclamation is both the process of reclaiming the land after you've extracted the coal, and there's also final mine reclamation when you go back and clear out every bit of evidence that mining ever occurred on the site. It's a very carefully thought out and orchestrated process of filling the hole where you've removed the dirt and then the coal. So you put back the subsoil and then you return the topsoil into the same location as topsoil so that we can return it to darn near exactly the same topography it was before.
Other regulations addressed environmental concerns at industrial sites that were no longer in use. Town gas sites were a special challenge addressed with the Superfund Act of 1980.
It was the one act that would apply to gas plants, not their operation, but the fact that they left historical impacts to a site. And so it was the Superfund process that originally highlighted manufactured gas plants as being sites of interest for remediation. Very few of these plants presented imminent hazards. Remediations were required. They were usually done in a voluntary action by the company working with the state. And in the end, most of these sites have been able to be put back either into industrial service for residential use as well.
People still have this picture in their mind of a Dickensian coal plant belching pollution into the air. We have done a very good job in the developed countries of managing pollutants like sulfur, like nitrogen, like mercury, like ash, like particulates. The United States has successfully reduced criteria pollutants from power generation by roughly 90%. Now we face the next challenge, which is carbon. That one will be much, much harder.